After over a year of anticipation, an entire feud with Kanye West, Mike Dean, a disastrous Rolling Loud performance, and the highest grossing tour of his career, Kid Cudi has finally released his long-awaited album Entergalatic. Now, even with all of the build-up leading up to its release, along with its companion Netflix series, Cudi's newest album kinda flopped, selling barely over 20,000 units first week, but we're not here to talk about the record's bad marketing and poor sales numbers. We're here to analyze the body of work that is Entergalactic and find out if Cudi's newest studio album holds up to the rest of his catalog. Now, the first thing to note about the record is that it's Cudi's most otherworldly body of work to date. We often joke that Cudi is the master of making this super chill, vibey music with his spacey production and beautiful humming and singing, but he really puts these ingredients at the forefront here, making this record the living embodiment of the SpongeBob floating at 3 a.m. meme. Now, don't get me wrong, Kid Cudi's other albums capture the euphoric aesthetic masterfully, but at the end of the day, albums like the Man on the Moon series are much more than just a meme of Winnie the Pooh coming out of his body. They're profoundly written, well-detailed masterworks addressing the darkest demons of one of the most vulnerable musicians of all time, and when it comes to Entergalactic, it waters down all of the emotion and detail of those records to make a body of work that does exceptionally well at easing your nerves, and while it lacks in these other regards, it's perfectly fine as it becomes something that stands on its own, healing and connecting with listeners in a different way than we have ever seen from a Cudi record. You can see this as soon as the second track, New Mode, kicks off. The song nails the vibe we all know Cudi for, but its writing and sonic layering are just so bare bones. The song is one straight ride that features Cudi running through all of his usual motions, and while the basic writing eliminates a level of detail out of the equation, the smooth vocals and other dimensional sound all work so well and make this a special track and one that will elevate listeners out of their bodies nonetheless. Another benefit of the fairly safe formula Cudi utilizes on this album is that we don't succumb to the lows of a record such as Speeding Bullet to Heaven or the dullness of an album like Satellite Flight. You know what to expect going from track to track, but even Cudi in his most pure form makes songs like Angel and Maybe So, which are so angelic through their gloomy atmospheres, minimal layering, and Cudi's own vocals which coddle us as listeners throughout the durations of these tracks. Speaking of Cudi's vocals, I think the toned down production value of this record allows for them to shine in places a little stronger than usual. Take a song like In Love. The way Cudi plays with his voice throughout this entire cut comes off so commandingly, with the entire track wrapping around his vocal convictions and nothing else. With all of the predictability and comfort we find on this album, it's nice that there are a few daring moments highlighted by one of the two Ty Dolla $ign collaborations, Willing to Trust. In this track, the spaced out instrumental brings much more power to the scene with its haunting guitar riffs, and Kid Cudi's striking demeanor brings a sense of urgency to things that's otherwise not present on this album. Between Cudi's heartfelt cries about learning to trust in relationships and the charming assist from Ty Dolla $ign, this is the highlight of the record without a doubt. The other risks on this record come in the form of two energetic cuts that have a lot more of a commercial appeal to them. These songs present Cudi in a much more hectic and flashy manner on this album, and I think it actually works surprisingly well and helps break up the otherwise somber experience that the rest of the LP provides. Do What I Want is a psychedelic trap banger, and hearing Cudi play with his vocals in this otherworldly yet high energy trap environment makes for a moment that is one of the most exciting we've seen from him in recent memory. Can't Believe It presents this version of Cudi in an even more exciting light, as both his swagger-filled bravado and all-powering flow play off the memorizing beat masterfully. Adding to the amazingness that is this cut, 2 Chainz's boisterous verse fits so well over this production, and it immortalizes this cut as one of the most entertaining hip-hop collaborations we've seen all year. On top of these tracks adding such a nice breath into the album, Can't Believe It serves as the perfect bridge between the record's first and second half, and it certainly makes a moment like the generally bland Live in My Truth come off a lot stronger in comparison. When it comes to the overall listening experience Entergalactic is creating, I think keeping the momentum rolling through the second half is where this record struggles most. While a song like Ignite the Love in the first half plays it safe but can still stand as a solid Kid Cudi song, a track like Maybe So is just a little too undercooked to justify its over 3.5 minute runtime. Cudi's hook sounds great on the track, and the faint vocal samples and guitar riffs create something promising in the beginning, but as you navigate through this moment, it feels like you are in some sort of musical purgatory with all of its nothingness. The second Ty Dolla $ign collab, Can't Shake Her, is the epitome of this sentiment. After seeing the emotional climax of this project and Willing to Trust come off so strong, getting a track that just checks off the boxes of what these artists can do while lacking a lot of the spice that makes it special leaves this entire section of the album just feeling kind of incomplete. Now, fortunately, Entergalactic finds its feet before it's too late with the song She's Looking For Me. From the soft and gentle sonic composition to Cudi's hopeful singing about being saved by love, this song has enough baked into it for me to truly appreciate. And if there's a track that should serve as a masterclass of the formula Cudi uses to engineer this entire album, it would be My Drug. Now, this song captures the perfect balance of intoxicating the listener in the world of music through its transcending vocals and mind-numbing eccentric production. And ending all of this album, bringing it all to a close, we leave the world of Entergalactic with the Don Toliver collaboration Somewhere to Fly. From Cudi's love-filled singing, which sounds so beautiful, to the dynamic him and Don's vocals create alongside one another, this track succeeds at bringing us back to Earth after the outer world experience that is Entergalactic in the smoothest way possible. Overall, Entergalactic is undoubtedly an achievement in terms of musical world building, but it does come with its fair share of issues. The lack of almost any strong writing, along with any daring production choices or musical turns, leaves the record in a place where we're left with Kid Cudi in his most pure form, and hearing his vocals marinate over these slightly altered, spacey instrumentals works most of the time, but I do think this record could have been condensed to maybe 10 or even fewer tracks to nail the same feel without any of the dull moments. While this album almost makes Kid Cudi seem like he's playing a character of himself and all the generalizations pop culture makes about his music, there is a level of comfort and tranquility in doing this that makes this project not just succeed, but stand as a special piece that is nothing like the highs or the lows in his catalog. Before I get into my score, I will be ranking the track list, which at number 14 we have the Intergalactic Theme, at 13 we have Living My Truth, at 12 we have Can't Shake Her, at 11 we have Maybe So, at 10 we have Do What I Want, at 9 we have Ignite the Love, at 8 we have Somewhere to Fly, at 7 we have She's Looking For Me, at 6 we have In Love, at 5 we have Angel, at 4 we have Can't Believe It, at 3 we have My Drug, at 2 we have New Mode, and at 1 we have Willing to Trust. Now, for all of the reasons I said, I will be giving Intergalactic a solid score of a 6.4 out of 10. Do you agree with my rating? What do you think about Intergalactic? Be sure to let me know in the comments below, and while you're at it, leave a like and subscribe. It helps out the channel a ton. Thank you all for watching. Fantastic Hip Hop signing out. Have a great day.